Hello?
Ahem. Why does your mic sound so far away?
I don't know.
There
Does
we
it
go.
still sound?
That's better. All right. Welcome. I'm recording. Welcome to the Cassie and Ryan Alien Romulus Review 30 Minutes edition. Because Cassie didn't have enough time to stream tonight, but instead, we did have enough time to do this while it's fresh in my mind. You saw it, what, 2 days ago?
Yeah.
And I saw it a few hours ago. Here are the notes I have written down.
Oh boy.
Here was my theater experience. I went in at 11:15 a.m. I bought a $7 water. And yeah, $7
for a water? Was it a big water?
It was
bottle?
like a Life water. Yeah, it was a big Life water bottle. It was the only water they had.
Sheesh.
I snuck in some Skittles and M&Ms. There were no popcorn buckets, and those Wayland Yutani patches that Rolf was talking about, I have no idea what he's talking about.
Dang it.
I wrote...
Did they have the t-shirts?
No.
Oh.
No, nothing. I wrote rant about how much I hate trailers, okay? There were 30 minutes of fucking trailers. The movie didn't start until 11:45.
Yeah, that's how it goes now.
Then why write it starts at 11:15? Why?
Because that way you see the trailers.
I don't want to see the trailers.
I love the trailers.
Oh,
yeah, except for that stupid Mufasa one they put there.
Yeah.
I was like,
what'd you think about the scene in the Mufasa one where the lion looks at the screen and goes, "There can only be one Lion King"?
Oh, I think I had a stroke. I don't remember that.
He literally says there can only be one Lion King, and he looks at the screen.
I do remember that now. It was, yeah.
And I went, oh!
Yeah, there was one trailer that looked kind of cool, but I remember thinking...
Was it The Substance?
No, okay, it was what was it? It was like about some family who showed up to like another creepy family's house.
Oh yeah, I can't remember what it's called, but yeah, it was a Blumhouse thing.
Yeah, it looked cool, but I was like, man, they sure did give away a lot in the trailer.
Starring that one British guy. Yeah, they like to do that.
Yeah, I was like, they could have made a good trailer
I like
it.
that British guy. I can't remember what his name is, but he's good. I like him. It looked genuine. It looked creepy.
It looked good, yeah. It looked like my style. I like that weird, like, creepy family doing creepy stuff. But it was, like, obvious from the trailer. They're like, oh, they cut the kid's tongue out.
There was a trailer. I don't know if you saw this one. There was a trailer
called Hear No Evil. Speak No Evil.
Right. Speak No Evil. Okay.
Because they cut the kid's tongue out, and they made that very obvious in the trailer.
Right. Red 1. Did you see a trailer for that? The Christmas one?
No.
Oh my god, it looks awesome. Chris Evans and The Rock have to go and find J.K. Simmons' Santa because he's been kidnapped.
Red 1. Oh, I see here. Action comedy. Kidnaps Santa Claus. An elf. Extremely large and formidable operative.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's PG-13 and J.K. Simmons plays Santa, and I was like, oh man, this looks very funny.
Oh, it is that guy as Santa.
Yeah.
That's a cool Santa outfit.
I know. I was like, this looks kind of cool. I might actually watch that. Anyways, not to get caught up on the trailers. It was me and 3 other guys. No problems with them whatsoever. We were all very, very quiet. But yeah, that was it. No problems there.
You and 3 other dudes.
Yep, that was it. At the 11:15 showing. I will say real quick about end credit scenes. I wrote down rant about end credit scenes. Fuck Marvel. Like, now you, like, sit there for, like, 5 to 10 minutes, and you're like, there's nothing at the end.
Something gonna happen? Yeah. Actually, we were sitting there, and I sat there at the end, and that was just because I didn't want to leave. And I was, like, so hyped on it. I was like, I don't want to leave yet.
Fair enough.
Then Chase was there looking it up. He's like, Cassie, there's no end credit scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. That's not why I'm staying.
It sucks that Marvel even made that a thing.
Yeah, because now you just, like, have this weird expectation.
Right. Well, it's not even that. It's like, you don't know if you can leave or not.
Yeah, I think he just looked it up on his phone. He was like,
that's fair. That's fair. Okay, that's all I have written for theater experience. Now it's film experience.
Experience.
Here we go. This is what I have written for film. I wrote all of this in 10 minutes, by the way.
Oh my god.
Here's what I have written for film experience. Characters. Rain, who I liked a lot, by the way.
Rain, that's the main character's name, right?
Yeah.
She looked like Ellie from Last
She
of Us.
did. That's the thing, is that she looked a lot like Elliot Page. Like early Elliot Page. She's 26. I looked up her actress. I was like, wow, she looks very young.
Has she been in other stuff? Because I read
she's the only one who's been in other stuff.
Okay, because I was
much.
like, I read an interview with the bald girl today, and that was her first feature film.
Yeah. No, it was the first feature film for most of them.
Wow. To do Alien Romulus.
I know, right? Cool. Andy, her brother, who's an artificial person. I liked his performance. I thought he did really good.
He was so good. I fell in love with him immediately. I was like, this guy.
Yeah,
adorable.
He was a standout, especially when he got that Wayland Yutani like scientist upload, and he still became like creepy and British. That shit, he did real good.
Yeah, speaking of creepy and British,
well, we're gonna get to
that. Is that in your notes?
Hold on. Yes, it is. It is. Don't worry. I'm glad you brought that up. We will get to that in a couple minutes. Kay, in parentheses, pregnant woman.
Yeah.
Navarro, in parentheses, religious. I only remember her name because of Fallout New Vegas.
Oh, because she was praying. They kind of alluded that she had some sort of.
But there was nothing to that. Because she was the first to die.
They didn't flesh, and that was a complaint that was like across a lot of. That I would say is valid. Is they really went like the horror movie route where they were like, here's some people.
Oh, believe me, I have that written down as well. We'll get to that. Next character, British guy number 1, Kay's brother. Next character, British guy number 2, asshole, dating Kay. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like,
or dating Navarro. I meant to write.
Is that Navarro's brother?
No, Navarro was the woman who was praying.
Yeah, but I think she had a brother, and I didn't realize that till I read the interview. And she said something like, "Oh, my brother, blah blah blah," and I was like, "Wait a minute, she had a brother too?"
We'll get to that as well.
Navarro.
I have the talking points listed, and talking points is a nicer way of saying my problems with the film.
Yeah, Navarro worked at Jackson. Oh no, her boyfriend.
Okay.
Bjorn.
Oh, so they were dating. Okay, so I wrote that down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Navarro was a human. Wait, that's not right. Wait a minute. Navarro was a human scavenger and Bjorn's adoptive sister.
What?
In 2142.
Whatever. Okay. We only have like 20 minutes to do this review. Okay.
Okay.
I don't care about these characters, and we'll get to that. All right. Film experience. I have the last character on here, which is what you wanted to talk about. I have guest starring Ian Holmes' creepy likeness as Rook. And then under it, talk about Ian Holmes' creepy likeness.
Yeah, Game Boy Pocket. Yeah, I told Ryan to get a Game Boy Pocket.
Nice.
It's on the dining room table if you want it.
So, what did you think?
I thought it was fine. I felt better about. Oh my God, no! I thought it was. Let me get your Game Boy. I thought it was better once I read the interview about it.
Yeah, I heard they got the permission from the family.
Yeah, and they were actually
it wasn't AI, like I assumed it was. I thought it was like AI.
I thought it was too.
But it turns out they just used him for reference.
Okay, can I just talk about how Nils just tried to feed his Game Boy an apple slice?
Awesome.
He went, yummy, yummy, yummy.
It's really good.
But yeah, I heard it was voice acted. I saw that, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool.
They had a guy, and basically they CGI'd over his face to make it look like Ian Holm. But it was his voice, the guy. I guess he had they credited Ian Holm as facial and voice reference, and then under it they had the guy as him.
Oh,
so yeah.
Well, I
looked okay.
They pulled Ash back. It was freaky
Right.
at first, and then after a second, it was fine. Like once my eyeballs got used to it, and I was like, oh, it's all right.
That's not
But
Ash.
I
That's
thought it.
Rook.
I know it's
Different robot.
I know, but it was the soul of Ash,
I
and I thought
know.
that was cool. Um, yeah, I will say, I don't know if we're hearing the discussion yet. I don't know what part. We can move on. I was okay with that. I had some thoughts about the overall plot, but those can wait.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So I've got next up is synopsis. I have a short little synopsis for anyone who's
Yes.
interested. Rain and Andy live on a mining planet with no sun with hopes to travel to a nicer planet. We learn that Andy is an artificial person made by Weyland Yutani that Rain's dad found in the junk and fixed up. When Rain's approval to move off planet is denied, she teams up with the team to go and steal cryo-sleep chambers from a Weyland Yutani space station, but they get more than they bargained for when it turns out that the station was made for xenomorph research. So,
Yeah.
that's the main idea. And yes, I wrote all this in 10 minutes.
You could use that skill.
I believe me, I could, but I don't.
I was like, that's not bad.
I black out and shit gets written.
I would say one criticism about the plot that
Yes.
I was reading online that I was like, okay, in me, I'm not too critical about like weird inconsistencies or retcon. Like I don't give a shit. Like
Right.
it's just a movie. I don't
Yeah,
care.
yeah, yeah.
But someone pointed out the face huggers,
Mm-hmm.
and they were like, why are there so many face huggers? Like if there's one, so they brought the xenomorph on board. Like that was the thing. They brought the xenomorph on
Right.
board, and
So
then the
where did
xenomorph.
all of them
Right.
come
So where
from?
did all the face huggers come from? Why are
That's
there like
an
500 face huggers?
excellent question that I didn't really think about until right
I didn't think
now.
about it. The only thing I could think of is potentially because of all the lab
Maybe
stuff. I was
they
like, maybe
went
they like ate
back.
them.
Oh, I was thinking maybe they went back to the planet.
But they
And
got the Xeno from like the wreckage of the Nostromo.
right.
So it's like, where did 100? And there was no queen, so there's no
Right.
eggs.
That's the thing.
And
You know what? There was that like weird fucked up face hugger in that tank in the lab. So they were probably just cloning them.
that's what I think. That's kind of what I came down. I was like, I think that I would make a hedge a stretch that these were somehow like genetically modified, especially since they
Yeah.
had like all these like artificial wombs essentially that they
Yeah,
were set
right.
up. And I was like, I don't know. I mean, I didn't worry about it. It
That
was a little weird,
that
but
part was interesting to me about how they were like, we want to create the perfect being. And it's like, wasn't their
oh,
original idea was to just turn it into like a bioweapon to win wars? And now
I
all
don't
of a
know.
sudden Rook is like, I want to
Oh,
make the
right.
perfect human being.
Perfect human. Yeah. Yeah. I was hoping that with that, when that girl like zapped herself with the with the black ink,
Yeah, we have we need to
we
talk about
haven't
that,
gotten to that.
but we'll get to
Before we
that.
get to the end
Yeah.
part, and I can give you 20 more minutes. Um,
Okay.
before we get to the end part, the characters, um, I do wish they had given a little bit more to
Okay,
each.
yeah, we should. All right, this is my first talking point. Is characters were not fleshed out enough to be cared about upon death.
Yeah, it was like kind of a bummer when they would die, but the only scene that felt sad was when the girl got like stabbed behind the door. And I was
Right,
like, dang, she
right,
got
and then
got.
she
But it
didn't even
wasn't because
die.
yeah, right. And it wasn't because I cared about her. It was more of the implication
The
of
fact
the
that her
fact that he was
brother,
letting.
the brother was, yeah,
Yeah, the brother was
exactly.
sad. She was pregnant, and the android was letting her die. And he was
Right,
like, and so it created this tense scene more than I was like, oh no, not her, you know.
right,
And I could tell they
exactly.
tried to, where they were like, oh, my baby's gonna see the sun, and they're like trying to
Oh
create
my god, when she fucking said that, I remembered the guys in your theater, and I was like, I shouldn't laugh. I was like,
I
I should be quiet, and I shouldn't laugh at the fact that she's like,
oh,
my baby's going to see the sun. I'm like,
you're like,
girls, your baby ain't gonna see shit.
yeah, one part that I laughed was when the face hugger or the chest burster came out of Navarro,
Yeah.
and its little fucking arms, I was like cackling. It was like its little arms are wiggling around.
I gotta
Apparently,
say,
that
I
was a
really
puppet.
liked how that wasn't CG.
Yeah, it was a puppet.
Yeah.
I was reading about that
Oh,
today.
I could
Like,
definitely tell. I liked that it was like a puppet like the old days.
yeah, and the guy who made it worked on the original Chessbursters.
Really? Oh,
Yeah,
no shit.
yeah.
That's
So,
cool.
because the actress was talking about how cool that was, they were like, "Oh, it was wild to like talk to that, like to be working with
Yeah,
the
that's
original
really
crew."
cool.
And they had all these cool stories about working with Sigourney Weaver and stuff, and
Nice.
to share. Yeah,
Um, yeah, these characters. I mean,
Kay was fine.
Kay
I
was
wish they had
fine.
made her. My one complaint about the main character was that
Oh,
she
Rain.
was Rain. Yeah, she was believable, I guess, but I would have liked to see more of like a badass transformation. Like they tried to go there and it
I don't think
kind
that
of
was the point, though. I don't think she was supposed to
uh,
be badass. I think she was just supposed to be a person who didn't want to be there.
that's true.
It's kind of
I
like
know.
Isaac from Dead Space. He was just a guy that
But the
didn't want to be there.
but the problem is that I would have been nice to see her character like have some sort of like character progression.
Growth.
Yeah, like change from the
Yeah,
beginning
I
to the end in some
suppose.
way. Like she started off as some way and ended it differently, but she was started off the same and ended the same.
You're right. I'm giving her a pass because she's cute, but
She is very cute.
yeah. But
But yeah,
yeah,
she
other
didn't
than that,
change at
yeah.
all.
Yeah.
Even like the robot changed,
Yeah,
Andy.
exactly. No,
Even he had more
Andy grew.
character progression
Well, that's the
than
thing is that I saw a lot of people saying that Andy was the breakout kind of standout role in the movie. Like he had,
True, but I saw some criticisms about Andy that I rolled my eyes at.
yeah,
People are like, "Oh, he's the only black character," and they made him into the slave robot, and I was like, "Oh my
they're
God."
not slave robots.
Well, what they were, and that is what I thought too. And then they were like, "Oh, because his only role is to make her happy," and that's like weird. And then
What?
also, Ash or the not Ash,
Brooke,
tells
Rook,
him Rook,
Rook,
Brooke,
Rook, Rook,
Brooke,
Rook, 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 Rook.
Rook tells him that what did he say? Something like, "Oh, the colonies, you served your colonies well in like the
Right,
formation," and they were like
you were one of the
the
original
backbone.
Weyland Yutani robots.
Yeah, like you were the backbone of colonization or whatever, and everyone's
Yeah,
like, "Oh, bro, what? Like slaves?" I was like, "You guys, what?" You would have been mad if they didn't put a black person in, and then when they did, you ripped them apart, and
there
you're like,
was
"That's not what I
there
wanted."
was
I'm like,
several
"Oh
different
my God."
races in the
Yeah,
movie.
I was actually thinking that when I was watching. I was like, "Wow, this is like one of the most diverse alien casts I've seen."
Yeah.
Like, I was actually
Hey,
pretty
in
impressed.
fairness, Alien, the first Alien, how many black people were in that? One.
What? He
One.
was cool though.
He was cool. No, they were all
He
cool.
was a really
That's the
good
thing
actor.
about Alien 1, to get back to this. Alien 1 had such great, memorable characters, and they were only alive
And
for a little
aliens
bit.
too.
Yeah,
I mean,
Aliens also had, like, Michael Biehn, and, like, fucking, he was a badass, and yeah.
but to be fair, I will say this movie was slightly crippled by the fact that they did do all like green actors and that they were like
Yeah, there
you're
was
looking
really
I
no
mean you look at aliens.
star. There was no star pull,
Yeah, you
unfortunately,
look at
but.
aliens and something, you're like, no wonder you had breakout characters. You had like what's his face? This ain't happening, man.
Right.
Like
Yeah,
like
exactly.
of course he's gonna make a splash. He was an excellent actor,
Right.
like and these were all kids who this was like their first role. Like of course they're gonna
I
like
mean,
do fine, but
yeah.
not be.
I mean, that
They're
was
not gonna
this.
kill their role.
I don't mean this. I don't want to say this, but that was the case with Alien as well. Though they were all kind of green.
Were they
Sigourney Weaver, that was one of her first roles.
really?
Pretty sure.
I'd have to
I'm
fact
pretty
check that.
sure.
I
Pretty
don't know.
sure.
I mean, it was like 78,
Yeah.
70,
I don't. And
70.
none of. And I'm pretty sure all those people were just like character actors. So like, it's not
True.
like
They did do a better job at like making the characters. To be fair though, Alien had such a larger build up time to get
it
to know the
did. This
characters.
movie also had a larger build up time, but didn't spend a lot of it on character.
Yeah, I don't know what they spent. I felt like it went fast and slow at the same time at the beginning.
Yeah, it was. It
Like,
was a lot of like. I don't know. It was a lot of getting there.
yeah, I thought the pacing was okay
It was
overall.
no, yeah. there was never a point in the movie where I was like, oh, I wish this was over. Like, it went by pretty quick.
I remember thinking while it was going on, wow, this has been like action packed, like nonstop for the last like 30 minutes straight.
Yeah.
Like it's been, which is one thing I love about alien movies is that's like pretty par for the course. Like they just like turn it up and they don't stop. Like it just stays high tension for like 45 to 50 minutes. And then of course, okay, let's get to the second half of the movie.
So yes, I feel like I needed a closed caption machine for every single fucking British person.
Eat your food, Nels.
Did you feel that way too?
Oh my god, the one guy I remember thinking that when
God.
I was because
I almost went out and asked for a closed caption machine, legitimately.
I know every time that the asshole guy opened his mouth, I was like, "I'm sorry, what?"
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't understand a word
I think he's saying something mean about Andy.
Yeah, I'm like, okay.
It's like, oh my god.
Yeah, he's the only one I had a really hard time with. I will say that the other ones were okay.
Well, the only two of them were British. I understood everyone else perfectly fine. But the other guy didn't really talk much.
Yeah, which the brother?
Yeah. I don't know. He was just kind of there.
Yeah.
He existed to be the brother. I thought there was
gonna be more with him. And then
me
he died.
too.
And I was like, oh, okay.
He was in promo pictures, and then he got scooped up by that alien, and the mouth went right to his head, and I was like, oh, okay.
Okay.
Huh. Well, he's gone.
Yeah. But second half of the movie.
Yes.
I liked. So I know one of the major complaints from people about that movie, reading reviews, is they're like, oh, it's so like contrived, and it's so like. I read this review that basically said like there are good ways to pay an homage to a movie, and then there's just like lazy ways of just taking things and squishing them in and just like kind of being total fan service. And I'm sorry, I ate that shit up. I was all about it. I was like, you're a hater. That was awesome.
There wasn't that much fan service.
There was a sizable amount. I mean, I didn't
see it.
I had to look it up, but there was the ones that come to memory are in the beginning, right at the beginning. There's that little bird, the Dippy bird from the other movies, so that shows up immediately.
That was from a different movie?
Yeah.
I do not remember that.
The Dippy bird was like a thing from the first one.
Oh, the Dippy bird! I thought you meant the bird, the canary they went into the coal mine with.
No, but somebody did say that was a reference too, and I didn't remember which.
No, I remember the Dippy bird. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I'm wondering if the bird was a reference from 3 because there weren't many references from 3, and 3 had like that kind of thing. I have to look again, but someone said that was a reference too.
I wrote down the biggest and worst fan service moment, though.
I bet I know.
Yeah, you bet
it's
you
not
know.
Worst, it's the best.
Did everyone in the audience cheer when it happened?
Yeah, they did.
What?
Yeah, they did.
What?
They were like, woo!
I groaned. I was like, oh.
No, it was great. He says, get away from her. You bitch. And everyone's like, yeah!
Come on!
I was like, yeah!
I have written here, why did Andy say get away from her, you bitch?
Oh, it was so good.
But
I was
why
so
did
happy.
he say it?
Because to get away from her, you bitch.
But why did he say you bitch? Couldn't he have just said get away from her?
Yeah, but then it was funnier that way.
Okay, but why did he say
Okay, it did break character quite a bit there.
He's not a superhero. He's a broken robot.
I do think that... So, the first thing I thought when I was done watching the movie was, wow, this was really a movie for the fans. Like, this was so chock full of fan service and nods.
Yeah, that's every
It was
movie.
like... Not Not really, because like Prometheus and stuff like that, I don't say
Yeah,
those
well,
are for
that's the
fans.
thing, is that Prometheus and Covenant people hated. So.
I know, but they were like not for the fans. They were for the universe, and they were trying
Right.
to do something different. They're trying, you know.
And
But
you
this
and
one
I
was
liked
like,
it, but
yeah,
the average human being didn't.
yeah. A lot of people didn't like it, but that's just because they're haters.
Did you hear them reference Prometheus in this movie and the Prometheus theme played? I was like, what?
Oh yeah, I saw in the
I was
credits
like,
that the Prometheus theme was in there,
yeah.
and I was like, oh, I
They
think I missed
they
that.
it was when he took
The
out that
Black Goo
Xeno.
thing.
Yeah. He took it
Yeah.
out and it played, and I was like, oh my god, they want to reference Prometheus.
Well, somebody made a point in a review that they were like, this really was a movie that its intent was to tie all the movies together and like the
Yeah.
universes and the concepts and stuff because they
Yeah.
became so disjointed. And so that was like the black goo showing up in this was like a way
Yeah.
to tie those universes together,
I
like
suppose.
which is fine. But can we talk about Big Baby?
Hold on.
The
Before that's close.
baby?
That's close. I wrote, why the fuck did Kay inject herself?
You know, I think because I know why. I think it's because what I assumed watching it was she overheard that conversation.
Yes.
Like she knew that it could save her life and she was scared.
So she should have heard Kay go. No, not
But
Kay.
she's scared.
She should have heard Rain go, oh, don't do
trust
that.
it.
It's a bad idea. And I was
Well,
like,
she
oh my
just said,
god.
I don't trust it, but her brother was implying that, like, it was safe, and he was like, it's fine. So I think she had both
Rain,
of those in her head.
It's funny. Rain stopped that from happening. I was like, oh, good job, Rain. I was
I
like,
know.
no, that was smart. I was like, whew. It's a close call. And then, like, 15 minutes later, it's just jump cut to Kay shooting up with the fucking black liquid. And I'm like, girl, what are you doing?
Yeah, it was, I was glad it happened, though, because I was like, oh, I was hoping for a bigger body horror scene, which was
There
something
wasn't a lot of body horror in this.
It was right at the end.
It was a little tame.
I mean, there's not a lot of body horror in a lot of the Alien movies.
I suppose. I don't know.
It's mostly just this. There was more body horror in this one than most. Like this one, I would say near the end became Alien 4, like Resurrection, which isn't.
I want to talk a bit about Resurrection, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, it's not the best movie to reference, but the baby coming out.
One more thing.
What?
I really liked when Rook was. This made me laugh. This is probably my biggest laugh out loud moment. Rook was like, if you bring the thing onto the ship and press autopilot, I'll bring you to the planet.
Oh, like, yeah, he's like, I'm your friend.
Yep,
yeah,
I'm your friend. And then they all make it back, and he goes, oh, good job getting you alive. They put Kay in the cryo sleep chamber. And they go back, and they're on autopilot. And she just presses manual mode. And he goes, what are you doing?
To un-autopilot it?
Yeah!
That's all they needed to do.
And he's like, damn! My plan has been foiled!
The manual button!
Bro, I laughed. I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding. They just pressed manual.
Yeah, foiled.
Like, this was your whole idea?
He was not a smart robot.
No. Anyways, Xeno Baby.
Xeno Baby. Okay, let me tell you, during that scene,
okay,
when that shit started to go crazy,
and she had the birth.
Yes, if someone had looked at my face, they would have thought I was a straight up serial killer.
You were smiling and laughing.
I had the biggest fucking grin. I was like, yeah! I was so fucking excited to see what came out.
Pervert.
I was like, oh my god, yes, she's having the birth.
God,
it's coming out. There's
so
blood
weird.
everywhere.
You were so weird.
And I wanted to see it so bad. I was like, show it to us. Show it to us. And then it like was like crazy fucking.
Show me her pussy.
Show it to me. And then like this big thing comes out, and then
oh my
the
god,
fact that it fucking ate her. Love that. I was not expecting that.
Did you?
I
don't know. I wrote down something else for that.
You didn't like that it immediately ate her up?
I wrote down, I thought Kay was going to turn into a weird xeno hybrid and fight
I
it.
know. I thought that's actually when Chase and I were talking about the movie after. He was like, I really thought they were implying with the mouse
Right.
that
That
she
she
was
was
going to
could turn
transform into this
in. Yeah.
crazy. Yeah, I don't know why they went with the baby thing.
Also, I'm not gonna lie, when that xenomorph caught Rain from falling down the elevator shaft, I thought that was Kay for a split second. I was like, oh, it's a good
Oh,
xenomorph. I was like,
I
it's
know.
a
I thought
friendly.
so. You know what? I thought the same fucking thing.
I
I
was
was
like,
like,
oh, it's a friendly
oh, this is
xenomorph.
a
It's
twist.
Kay.
Yeah, I thought that Kay turned into a friendly xenomorph and that they were gonna like team up against the rest of the.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. Oh
That
wait,
would have
no,
been
it's
sick
Trevor.
as hell if the
Yeah.
K had become like a xenomorph hybrid. But that ties back into Resurrection, where I was like, is this a
Yeah.
lead up to what they do in Resurrection when they bring Ripley back? I'm like, is this like? I thought that's what it was going to be, where she was going to be like a xenomorph
Oh,
hybrid, and I was like,
it
oh,
would
is
have
this
been.
like alluding to the future? But I guess not.
Well, it was still like 4 in the way that the baby Xeno at the
Oh
end, and
God.
and I was like, this thing is nasty looking, and
Yep.
it looked like an engineer, and I was like, that's weird. And
When
then
when that
oh,
hole when that hole got punched into the ship by his acid from the cocoon,
oh
I
yeah,
was like, oh, this is about to go full Resurrection. He's gonna get
yep,
sucked out that fucking
I've got
hole.
yeah, I know. I was like, wow, they really went for it. They're just like,
I was saying,
do it
oh, he's
again.
about to become baby puree like that one at the end of fucking Resurrection, dude.
That's fucked up. Yeah, one thing I could not help but focus on the big baby alien.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see the weird thing on its crotch?
Yeah, the weird
I was like,
X.
what is that?
I was like, maybe that's for laying more eggs.
Oh, you know what? It was probably the umbilical because
Oh,
she did
maybe,
break
but
the umbilical. Maybe it's the belly button.
maybe.
It was distracting. I
That
was like,
his
what
whole
is that?
thing was distracting.
He was, it was,
Can I
it was
show you a
gross.
picture of the guy who played him?
Oh yeah.
You are gonna laugh.
Is he
Uh,
cute? Is he look like a
no. He's something.
no?
He's something. Here he is.
Oh my god, he looks like him.
Yep.
Oh, that's
What
too bad.
What do you think of that neck?
What is? They saw this guy walk in for the interview, and they're like,
Yep.
definitely
That's
him.
him. That's
We
him.
barely have to put makeup on this guy.
He looks tall. I'm like, that alien was tall.
So much neck.
Oh my god, he's 7'7".
7'7".
Holy
He's huge. So he
shit.
really was as
It was
big
him.
as.
That's why. Yeah.
That is wild. So he was actually in the costume, and that is the other thing. Like, what really just pushed my love for this movie over the edge was like the fact that they went back to so many practical effects, and I was like,
There was
hell yeah,
yeah. It
so
wasn't like
many.
horrible CGI.
No, there was
Yeah.
like very little CGI as far as like for the stuff that was front and center and mattered.
Yeah.
You know, like people in costumes just like the old days, puppets,
Yeah.
fucking animatronics, and the one of the actors was talking about how they were like, this is crazy because they're young, and they're like, I never thought I'd get a chance to work on a
Work with
movie.
practical
Yeah,
effects.
with practical
Yeah.
effects.
I
Like,
can only imagine how actors must feel nowadays where it's just them on a green screen.
yeah, they said things like, "Oh, I hit the buttons and they lit up." I was like, "Is that weird? Is that not a thing that
Yeah,
happens
that's
anymore?"
like nope. It is
That's
not.
crazy.
Yeah, but like that's the thing. This movie visually really nice.
Yeah,
It's a good
honestly,
looking movie.
so
And it
one of
wasn't
my
too dark. It wasn't most movies nowadays are
no.
fucking darkly lit.
Well, and
And
it could have been because
yeah,
of the type of movie it was, but they did a really good job. And like the thing I really liked, another thing that was like really felt like an homage to the fans and stuff was like they obviously made so many detailed, conscious efforts to make this. It was like to me, this movie felt like a love letter to the Alien franchise,
no,
and that's
yeah,
why I
no,
liked it so much.
they definitely
Yeah,
did. Yeah.
like the way they opened it, it was the same opening, it was the same music, it was the same credit sequence in the beginning,
Yep.
and then even all the way through the end. Like it was shot the same way, it had the same scenes, it had the same like art direction, the same coloring, and then all to the end, they had the same end.
I
And it was like,
really liked the soundtrack too.
well, yeah, because it sounded like the old ones.
Well, no, it's just like I like that orchestral
Yeah.
weird shit. Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
But,
yeah. No, some people, and I knew when I left, I was like, that's gonna piss some people off.
well, that's the thing.
Someone
That's
doesn't
why
it.
I was like, I should probably go see this tomorrow. Because I
Yeah.
was like, if I don't, I'm gonna see some review, and the review's gonna
You're gonna
taint
think it's
my.
bad.
It's gonna taint my view.
Yeah, I think people were too hard on the fact that I don't know, like I saw, so one of my friends was outside when I showed up and I was like, "How'd you like it?" And he like gave a thumbs up, thumbs down, and he was like, "It was fun." I was like, "What?" And I left and I like looked at Chase and I was like, "That movie fucking rocked." And like I was like, yeah, no one knows what they're talking about. That movie was great. Like it just they said the things, they recreated scenes like the Ripley with the alien scene, like shot for shot, direct, like remade it with the alien at her face,
Uh-huh.
and like, and then at the end they did the same Alien One thing where she gets on the ship, she starts to go into cryo, then
Yep.
surprise, there's an alien on the ship, and it starts all over again. I'm like,
So
I
you
could
like when movies are like other movies, huh?
I liked it with this one because it's a classic. It's because it didn't feel like it was it didn't have original ideas. It felt intentional to me. Like it didn't feel like it was like making another Scream movie, making a Halloween movie. It was like, oh, we know we're doing this. Like we're doing it on purpose. Like we want it to recreate this stuff. This is for the fans.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that was fucking rad. Some people are like, oh, it's super unoriginal. I'm like, yeah, on purpose. I think it's supposed to be. Like it wasn't supposed to add. I will say this though.
Mm-hmm.
My one big disappointment and like missed opportunity, I felt like, was I thought when I first heard about this movie that it was going to be about the colony on aliens.
Oh,
That's
okay.
what I thought this movie was going to be about. I was like, oh, they're bridging the gap between 1 and 2. It must be about that colony that Sigourney Weaver Ripley comes to after
Yes.
Hypersleep.
Right.
And it must be what happened before, like a prequel to Alien.
Right.
And I was like, that's so cool. I would love
I mean,
to see
it's
like
funny because
that.
this was technically a prequel to Aliens and Resurrection because this
Yeah,
did.
but then they made a new story instead of being like folding into the plot. And I was like, you could have filled the gap of the story on that
Hey,
colony and
hey,
like new and
Alien the shows. Did you see the ad for it during the trailers?
oh, I didn't see
They
the
play.
ad for
It wasn't a real
they
ad.
didn't
It
play
was
it
more
for
just
us.
like they basically said the Alien show is coming to AMC in 2025. That's what it basically said.
But I heard that's only about a like the robots and there's no xenomorphs in it at all.
Really?
That's what I hear, and I'm scared. I don't know if that's
I
true.
heard there's no xenomorphs in it, but here's the thing: is that there's a xenomorph in the promo picture.
Then
So
why are they spreading these nasty lies? That's not gonna have aliens in an alien Earth show. Because they talked about it. They're like, oh no, it's like about the androids and it's more about Weyland Yutani and stuff. And I was like,
well,
why
that'd
would
be
you do that?
fine. I guess we'll see.
Yeah, but don't call it aliens and call it Weyland Yutani.
Well, Wayland Yutani,
Side
yeah,
stories.
yeah, right.
Don't
All
call
right,
it
one last thing before we end. Out of 10, what would you give it?
8.
Okay.
It loses 2 points for character development and missed plot opportunity.
Fair. I'll give it a 7.
7?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a
That
7.
makes sense.
7 out of 10.
Nils, what do you give Alien movie? 1 out of 10.
Locked.
No, what? No, pick a number 1 between 10. 1 and 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10.
8.
Ah!
Hey!
We're
Look at
like
that!
mine.
The apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
He's like, then we rock, Mom. People are just haters. They don't know what they're talking about. Yeah.
I don't know what you guys are talking about. My 9-year-old autistic son loved it.
He thought it was
I
a
brought him into the
beast.
theaters and he thought it was awesome.
Well, and also, because we didn't talk about it, but it needed to be talked about, the acid scene
Yeah.
was pretty cool.
It was.
It was
No,
high tension.
the scene with her shooting them up and floating through the acid, that was cool.
That was cool, and I did see somebody
that
and the
scene,
elevator.
that scene up, yeah, and the elevator scene. That whole segment was really good.
Yeah, I
I
thought
liked
they
that a
did a
lot.
really good job with tension on that part when like, and I was surprised like when they're like, oh I know, I'll be done in 1 second. When like the gravity was gonna go off again, and she
Yeah.
was going up the elevator and she was floating, 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 and I was
Yep.
like, and I thought that it would kick in just in time, but then when she actually fell,
Yep.
and then the elevator was falling at her, and I was like, this is crazy. And they did a good job with that. And then it blocked the hole, and the Xeno grabbed her, and like stuff that was a little more unexpected happened with that. And
Yeah,
I was
like
like,
why did that xenomorph grab her?
I know. I mean that was kind of weird, but also I was like, oh, I guess he just like saw her dropping by and was like, yum, like smashed her.
I guess so. I guess.
Because that was kind of, yeah. I do wish
Yeah,
it had been the girl who
that would have
turned
been
into.
awesome.
Yeah, but then people would have complained about that. They've been like, that's stupid. She can't turn into a xenomorph. That doesn't make any sense. But it could have been like an Alien versus Predator thing, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
she's like one of them, you know?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, great movie.
That's our review.
That's the review.
That's the review.
And we'll
Great
do another
movie.
one when the new Back to the Future comes out.
No. 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 No.
They're gonna make a new one.
Don't speak that into
Return
existence.
of Marty McFly.
Oh, I'll be dead long before then. See you
Nope.
later.
They're gonna make it, and
No,
then you're
no,
gonna have
no.
to see it, and you're gonna have to experience it, and
Ugh.
it's not gonna be good like Romulus.
Of course it's not. Of course it's not.
Uh-huh.
All right. Bye,
All right,
Cassie.
I'm gonna take Nels to the Science Museum.
Okay. Have fun.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.